Well, look at this. Where the hell are we? You are asking yourself, but look, it's Christmas time, it's Christmas week, and as usual, Miller is on his magical mystery tour. Although, I do have another explanation as to why I am filming outside, and I'm going to show it right now. Look, here we go. It's going on. That's right, I got to duck down a bit so you can see it. I have come outside to try and find Father Christmas, to try and find Santa Claus, and I'm happy to look like an idiot in the process so he sees me from the sky and comes and gives me some presents. That makes no sense because one, I'm Jewish, but also two, I have just put more thought into why I'm filming today's episode of Ups and Downs for Raw outside than WWE ever does for their shows. Not true, bit mean, not really in the festive spirit. Let's up those downs for Raw. Raw was hilarious from the start this week because if you don't know, they pre-taped this episode during last week's show, and because of that, they didn't want to tell you that they were in the same location as they were, like I say, last week. So you had Vic Joseph just going, "Oh, welcome to Raw, it's Christmas, happy Christmas, the king, I love you, happy Christmas," and they never mentioned where it was, and that really made me laugh. That also comes with the bad though, because as you know, every time WWE does pre-tape a show, we have to have the canned-in boos and the canned-in cheers. What really gets me, what really grinds my gears, is I can't understand why the production team don't go out there and get different clips. You literally get the same boo all the time. I can hear that it's the same boo, WWE. I have ears. I've got to take these off. Why are you jingling jangling? Like if somebody starts booing me here on Ups and Downs, you know that it's not real, because again, it's just me stood in a field. Okay, apart from that one, that was my mother. Sorry you're not proud. Anyway, down. Kevin Owens was out to kick things off properly though, and I just want to point out that I love KO, and I hope come 2020, WWE pushes him like Raw's top babyface. He deserves it. Although on the flip side, do you know who came out to interrupt him here? It was Mojo Rowley. And hands up, when you were making your predictions in 2019, in January, you wrote, "I think Kevin Owens will fight Mojo Rowley on the penultimate episode of Raw." No one thought that, not even Mojo. Also, Rowley, where's all the blue goop on your face? Where'd that go, huh? No one explained that. I had antler ears on, I explained why I'm outside. No one tells me about mirrors and blue goop. But they had a no disqualification match after yelling at each other for a while, and it was just fun. And look, because it was no DQ, Mojo Rowley was out to hold his own because he was using all the weapons, but ultimately he did get his ass whipped. Kevin Owens gave him the stunner, Kevin Owens gave him a pop-up powerbomb through a table, and he able to get the win, and then he was all like, "You know what, I'm not done, I'm all riled up, I want to fight Seth Rollins and AOP, even though you'll probably beat me up, get your ass out here now." Amazingly, they just arrived, which does go to show that Kevin Owens has superpowers. Although, when Seth Rollins first got in the ring, he didn't have a microphone, and he was just trying to reason with Kev, saying, "Kev, calm down, don't listen to these people, I can help you." Obviously, Owens didn't listen to that. He attacked Seth Rollins, but that's when the Authors of Pain got involved. And as soon as he saw his opportunity, Seth Rollins curb stomped his ass. Well, no, didn't curb stomp his ass, he curb stomped his head. It's a turn of phrase. And keep this in your brain too, because afterwards, as Kevin Owens did stumble to the back, Samoa Joe, who was on commentary again and being amazing as he always is, went on a big rant about the Authors of Pain, saying, "Why is nobody taking them seriously? Why is nobody doing anything about it? Somebody needs to stop this madness." And we will get to that later. And I'm just going to condense all the 24/7 title stuff down into this one little bit because very unfortunately, I think WWE has just given up. And because it is Christmas, we can do a Christmas theme episode, but it was so shallow, it was kind of see-through, the 24/7 title just feels dead, and that makes me feel really sad. Down. It just never feels like it's actually going to evolve. And Truth and Tozawa were running through the streets of New York City, and they kept winning the belt off each other. And the real twist, the real spin, is when Santa Claus got involved, went heel, tricked Tozawa, hit him with his bag of presents, not a euphemism, and actually won the 24/7 championship. I mean, what world are we living in where Santa Claus is a heel? I know you're all going, "Well, Simon, he's a big fat guy that secretly climbs down into people's houses, gives them presents, and eats their food." Yeah, but you invite him, and when you invite someone into your home, you're allowed to do whatever the hell you want. I'm 99% sure that's the law. Anyway, by the end of this, R-Truth won it back. He's now the champion for like the 52,467th time. I just don't know where we're going with this anymore. We then had the most bizarre match ever because it was Bobby Lashley versus Cedric Alexander. It's like Mojo Rowley versus Kevin Owens, although to be fair, they did a pretty good job. up. Alexander took most of the match as well, which was quite strange to me because, of course, Bobby Lashley is massive and WWE loves that, but nobody will care at the end of the day because, of course, Bobby Lashley won after the spear, and all this did was remind me that Bobby is far better than the opportunities he's being given in the WWE, although you could say that for Cedric Alexander as well. A round of applause all round. What does not get a round of applause is when halfway through, Lana just got in the ring and started talking on the microphone for around about 42,000 years. Down. She mentioned the next week on Raw we are going to get the wedding between Lana and Bobby Lashley, and boy howdy, can I not wait for that. But what is the referee doing? Why does he see this random person get in the ring and go, oh, I think that's fine. Do you see it in the NFL? No. Do you see it in the Premier League? No. Do you see it on the NHL? Do you ever see a random woman just like skating all over the ice before falling down? No. That's so weird. Also, obviously this week, I watched Raw with some people that don't often watch wrestling, and their first question was, why is she allowed to do this? Is she allowed to do this? And I had to turn to them and go, yes, she is, because stuff just happens. Like I said, this also really did go on forever. I think I aged twice during it, and she also started shouting, you guys should do Greco-Roman wrestling. Didn't get it. Right though, and overall up for the new Seth Rollins character, because after seeing him on this evening, I actually think it could be the best persona Seth Rollins ever have. Given up. We'll get into most of it later when he does start doing all his cool stuff, but we started laying the groundwork here as he was doing an interview with Charlie Caruso. Just the way he's holding himself and the way he speaks, and with his two heavies behind him. Finally, we found a way to make Seth Rollins come across like a badass, but we had to go through a lot of shib first. Drew McIntyre then just ruined Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Down. Just don't get what the point was. Like, he ruined Zack Ryder in around about 2 seconds with the Claymore kick. Then Kurt Hawkins in there, and he was throwing fisticuffs, and then he got Claymore kicked. Then Drew McIntyre got on the mic and went, that was fun, and 2020 is going to be my year. Yeah, but 2019 was meant to be your year, Drew. This would be fine if I actually believe that WWE is going to push Drew in a certain direction, but they never do. Also now, he's gone from kind of being like malicious heel to funny heel. It's all just very, very weird, which kind of sums up this whole episode of Raw. WWE are keeping things short, sharp, and sensible when it comes to Becky Lynch versus Asuka, though, and I am more than happy with that. Give it up. The man came out for a promo and again simply said now she's the face of the company, WWE is trying to protect her, but she doesn't want protecting anymore because there is only one woman who is able to beat her fair and square, and that woman is Asuka. So no matter what anyone in management or the powers that be thinks, she wants her, and she wants her straight away. She then invited the Empress of Tomorrow, which is a very strange nickname by the way, to come out there, and she did, and again, Asuka just cut such a damn good promo, even though half of it in Japanese. So WWE, from now on when you get worried, oh no, they don't talk English, don't let them speak, no do. She came across like a killer. She also tried to wind up the man by reminding her what happened at TLC, and by saying, you know what, Becky, if you want to fight me, fine, I can become Asuka 2 belts. Becky agreed to that, she threw the challenge out there, and while Asuka didn't accept, we better be getting this at the Royal Rumble. It only went for about 5 minutes, but I am pumped, I am ready, 2 thumbs. And it was nice, solid stuff with Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy too. We kind of entered a parallel universe at this point in the show. Give it up. Because Aleister Black beat some jobber's ass with the Black Mass, and then Buddy Murphy beat someone else's ass with the Murphy effect, and then when those two got back in the ring, Murphy just shoved past Aleister Black because he's a piece of crap, so Black gave him the Black Mass. And I tell you, that move is slowly becoming like the RKO. He hits it out of nowhere, and slowly but surely, the crowd are getting louder and louder every time it connects. It also looked like it killed Buddy Murphy. That's a good finishing move. I also do want to see this scrap again, and as the announcers let us know, we can on next week's episode of Raw. You see, WWE, you do know how to do this stuff. Just keep it nice and easy. Rey Mysterio promo followed, and while there is a lot of controversy around Seth Rollins right now, it's a match he's wanted for ages, even though he knows the Authors of Pain are probably gonna get involved. Rey, I mean, the answer was right there in front of you, and you're a bit of an idiot for not doing it. Just go get a restraining order like Lana did. It's really, really easy. Right, what came next? Sometimes in WWE, I wonder if nobody actually looks through the running order, because after getting 2 back-to-back squash matches, we basically got another squash match. And at this time, in proceedings, I didn't really want a squash match. down. There was Tony Nese versus Ricochet, which is like a pairing you just pulled out of a hat. Like, oh, there's a rabbit, there's some Christmas stuff, oh, there's Ricochet, there's Tony Nese. And while Tony Nese did get more offense in than you may expect, it still ended with Ricochet hitting him with the code breaker or the recoil and getting the 1, 2, 3. And if anything, that made old Tone look even more stupid because he hit Ricochet with a bunch of moves, but he still fell on the floor like a chump. I mean, it's good for old Rick, but who is going to remember this? I don't even think I remember it now. What? Who? Huh. And remember what I just said because, yep, it basically happened again. I don't understand what we're doing. And again, it had far more competitiveness than some of what we'd seen, but it was Charlotte Flair versus Chelsea Green, and much like last week, Chelsea Green had a big promo video and WWE is saying, oh, Chelsea Green, you should watch out for Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green is really good and she does have a load of potential. But do you know how this match ended? With Chelsea Green tapping out to the figure 8. Down. And again, who does this help? I know Charlotte Flair is great. She has proven that over the last few years. And if I'd ever seen Chelsea Green, I now just think she's some person that found her way onto Raw but managed to lose. I don't get much from this, but if you do, including the one last week, just send it to me on a letter. You don't have to write anything. Just write to the bald asshole. It will get to me. I'm a pretty big bald asshole. After this, we got another Liv Morgan video where she told us she is no longer going to seek the attention from strangers or other people, even though surely the only reason you'd make this video is because you're seeking attention from other people to let us know that you're going through somewhat of a transformation. With that said, putting that to one side, quite like these. I think they're quite good, and I'm intrigued to see what WWE is going to do with Morgan in 2020. She's got a big fan base too. Fingers crossed. As predicted last week too, the main event on Raw was of course to set up the OC, taking on Randy Orton, the Viking Experience, which I've now decided in Simon Miller's end of year awards is the oddest tandem of 2019, but it was just fun really. It was just entertaining. It didn't really have that much importance to it, but I had a good time because everyone's really talented. Giving it up. It did feel a little bit like a path to nowhere, but Gallows and Anderson kept working on Randy Orton's knee, which was going to tie him to the finish, and every time AJ Styles got into a little bit of trouble, his buddies came and helped him out. And they did so again at the end. That made Orton's injury worse. AJ was able to hit the phenomenal forearm, and that's right, got yet another win over Mr. Orton. So yeah, it was okay, it was fun, and they should win, really, when you think about it. The OC are a proper team, and they were taking on a snake and 2 Vikings, and a snake and 2 Vikings should never just be that good from the off. We then had a couple of backstage bits with Eric Rowan and the Street Profits, and of course Eric Rowan was going on about that stupid cage. And when it comes to the Street Profits, when we get into 2020, can we start putting them in matches and having them be victorious? All this stuff is getting a little bit long in the tooth. Just a little bit, but they came on and I was like, could probably go to the bathroom now, or go looking for Santa again. Where's my thing? Oh, it's over there now, I can't reach it. But yeah, just move it on. And it's also true because we segued straight into the proper Eric Rowan segment, which is exactly the same as all the other ones we've had over the last 42 weeks. Now, as you know, if you watch Ups and Downs every week, I have given Eric Rowan and WWE a pass into January 2020, so they basically got 2 weeks to sort this out. But again, because it was Christmas, this jobber dude was giving Eric Rowan candy canes, and then when he tried to give a candy cane to the cage, Eric Rowan went absolutely crazy, gave him about 900 chokeslams, and he got the win. WWE. First Raw of the new year, I need to know what's in that damn cage. And if it turns out to be like a smaller cage, I'm gonna break my camera. And even though it was like everything else on this episode of Raw, I mean, what was going on, I'm gonna be a slight hypocrite because I just enjoyed how happy he was. Everything to do with Rusev is getting it up. I mean, at least he's ending the year like a triumphant hero, right? Because he was on the microphone saying that he doesn't even need to punish Bobby Lashley because the biggest punishment of all is that he's gonna marry his ex-wife. Thought that was a good line. And then No Way Jose came out doing his whole conga stuff and he lost to Ruru in honestly about 30 seconds. He gave him the matcha kick, which was pretty brutal, and he just pinned him. And again, because it's Christmas and the holiday season, Rusev then picked his opponent up and they all conga lined to the back. Now that sounds awful on paper, but again, the smile on Rusev's face was so gleeful, it filled me with glee. And as we know, Rusev being happy is the spirit of the holiday season. Happy Rusev Day. Screw Christmas. It was then our main event and I was so pumped because no matter what era or what reality you're living in, Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio is always going to be good, but I forgot what I was watching. I was watching WWE and I got WWE'd down. I mean, it was nonsense anyway because we had that gauntlet a week ago to determine who was going to be the #1 contender for the US title, and then Seth Rollins, who wasn't even in the gauntlet match, became the #1 contender, but of course this ended in a disqualification when the Authors of Pain got involved. And it was always going to do that. I was stupid for thinking that it wasn't. I just wanted this match to be so good, because it was. Before of that, Rey Mysterio defies his years and he was rolling and flying around like a crazy person, and Seth Rollins is good, especially in this new role. He's ticking all the boxes, and then stupid book readers. Thankfully, WWE did have one last thing up their sleeve, and it left me incredibly intrigued. Give it a dab up. Rey had been beaten up so much by the Authors of Pain that they dragged his lifeless body up to the commentators and they started to get in their face. Jerry Lawler and Vic Joseph ran away, but again, I told you to remember that Samoa Joe rant from earlier. He sat there and he said he's not going anywhere, and if you don't leave, I will stand up, and then somebody is gonna get beat down. Rollins then stepped in pretending he was gonna calm everything down, but obviously that was nonsense, because in the coolest thing he has done, probably since he's been in the company, he just looked at Akam and Razor and went, finish him. It was like playing Mortal Kombat. In fact, WWE, you should get Seth Rollins to say it each and every week and make it more like that Mortal Kombat guy every single time. So he goes,
finish him! Fatality!
We'll all absolutely love it. Rollins and the Authors then did an absolute number on both Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe, and surely that means not only is Samoa Joe gonna come back as some kind of good guy babyface, but also that he may team with Rey Mysterio and he may team with Kevin Owens, and now I know what I want in my next six-man tag. I want the Authors of Pain and Seth Rollins versus those three guys. It genuinely got me excited because, of course, I am a massive wrestling nerd. And that did bring us to the penultimate episode of Raw for the year. And look, don't get me wrong, right? A lot of it was very, very dull. A lot of it was just wash, rinse, and repeat. A lot of it was annoying because of that damn piped-in chanting that WWE insists they do on pre-tape shows. But just for that closing angle alone and how, just like I say, excited it got me, overall it's going to get an up. And that is basically based on one thing in a 3-hour show, which is dumb, which is ridiculous, but it is the holiday season, it is Christmas, and I want to be nice. Where is it? Let's get him again. Let's try and get Santa involved. It's not even going to fit in the thing. It's not even going to fit in the thing. But Santa, I'm waiting for you, even though I'm Jewish. Don't worry about it. That's that. We're done. It's the end. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's episode of Raw. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling. Head over to WhatCulture.com, read yourself some articles, follow WhatCulture on Twitter, WhatCulture WWE. Watch more videos here on WhatCulture Wrestling. My name is Soren from WhatCulture, and of course tomorrow, if you're watching this on day one, is Christmas, so look, happy holidays, have a good time, put a smile on your face, make sure you eat too much food, and definitely make sure you join me next week for Ups and Downs for Raw, because we get to do the Bobby Lashley Lana wedding. I mean, I tell you, that could be an absolute train wreck. That's how I want to start my new year. Stop blowing wind, you're ruining my video. I'll see you soon.